Hello and happy Thursday morning. How are you guys? I don't know if anybody else had a little technical difficulty getting on, but there we are. It is Thursday morning. I am Lori LaRose. I have been told that I don't tell myself, that I don't say who I am until quite a while. So I was laughing actually why I was told that. When I pop you down, I'm going to share actually with you. I was out stamping yesterday with the kids at one of my local high schools, and they're making cards for the seniors. So we put together cards, and like I say to them, really the most important part of the card is what's inside of it. So it's really nice. Hi Vicki, good morning. It's really nice. It's so rewarding for me working with the kids, and I had a visit from the principal when I was there. He's walking amongst, and it's, I don't know how to describe it, but there's an immense happiness, because the bottom line is he's walking around and his kids are completely engaged in this community service. So I deliver them to the seniors that live in the apartment buildings around our town, senior living buildings, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not the facilities, it's the apartments. So it's that. But people that are basically, a lot of them are living by themselves in there. So it's pretty cool thing that I've been doing this last couple of years with the kids and enjoying immensely. But I'll show you the pictures. And why we were laughing last night was one of the kids is writing, and he got a whole page, and because they're grade 9ers, right? They wrote 2 pages, easy schmeezy. I had these kids last year as well when they were in grade 8 with their teacher last year too. So they knew what we were doing. So that was kind of fun. It was easy, right? Anyways, but he's writing away, and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, my name's, and he says it. So it's super fun. I was just supposed to say my name's Lori LaRose, but that's not right. So anyways, I have active stamping here. Facebook is kicking off the videos every month now. So 30 days is all you have to watch these, and then they're gone. So if you like them, I have a couple different people have mentioned that they actually make notations that they're going to go back and watch one time because they see what the card result is. You'll have to pop over to YouTube. So I do have a YouTube channel now, and I have been loading it down. So if you have subscribed, you're probably like, so hopefully the notifications aren't crazy, because I'm actually going all the way back the 3 years, and I'm trying to download quite a few because the techniques are still sort of the same. But anyways, I'm not going to be distressed when they all leave in a couple months, but there they are. That all being said, if there is one that you are like, I rewatch that one like all the time, Lori, it's a really good one, and it steps you through somehow, not as disorganized as I usually am when I'm doing my lives, and I'm really babbling, so I'll pop on. We're going to make some cards. It is ABCs of Stamping. Hi, Jane. Anyways, if there is one that you really think you should definitely put this on your channel, just note the date and pop me a message, and then I'll make sure that I go and pop it over. But basically, I'm just kind of randomly, well, I'm not randomly, I'm actually just going backwards from now. Ones from 3 years ago probably won't make it on, is what I'm trying to say. I do have to find, if anybody does doing it, blah, 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 my daughter stood in for me one day, and I really want to grab it and download it. But anyways, okay, I'm going to pop you down. I'm just about to turn you off instead. Goodbye. And look at that, you guys. Oh, here we go. Look at that desk. For me, that's amazing. Just FYI. I'm laughing a little tiny bit because I'm looking at it through your guys' eyes, and you're like, there's still a whole bunch of stuff right there. I know, but it's so much better. I did find a couple little, sorry, I'm just trying to see what I'm doing here. I'm always in the situation where, why is that still on here, for goodness sakes? I thought all you saw was to hear. Oh, all right, boo. Okay. Here we go. Just a little note to say hello. So ABCs of Stamping on 1, 2, 3s, and I really did get off on a little tangent there, so that's crazy. I'm not quite sure, except that, yes, truly, if you will help me know what I should do. This is all clean though. So it is S, and that means second generational stamping. And you're probably looking, why does she have this here? Trees are a really good second generational stamping tool. I'm going to work with a few different things. We're going to try. What I'm kind of curious about is, a lot of times I have something sitting here for you guys to look at while I'm talking for 5 more seconds. Oh, I'm going to show you those cards. Hold on a second. Oh, this one's nice too. All right, so I enlisted the help of this cute little duck again, and I'm so happy they had pencil crayons, so there was lots of coloring. Because he could, I don't know if one person maybe nobody did. Look at somebody didn't stamp, but oh my gosh, it's so cute. How could I even, oh here, this guy didn't. Because we didn't need to color him. I don't think he's allowed to be, he's able to be whatever, right? So I take in the little pieces, we stamp, and they color and whatnot. So it's super, super cool. These ones are obviously grade 9ers, so they're not as, well, they're not funny, they're dear, the letters. Sometimes when I bring them on, if I'm doing grade 3ers, I'm like, let's chat with this. Okay, so second generation stamping, ironically, the other day, that was what the word that I could not come up with. So clearly I had no idea that's what we were doing today. You know, I pitched over my card. Tuesday was textures, and I was working with the little saran wrap splooshing and smooshing, I guess I wanted to say. I never did finish that card, but so that you have half an idea. Essentially, we were smooshing. And I was saying that as I was stamping. This one looks like I was more first generation all the way along. But I was laughing because I couldn't come up with the proper word. And it was like, ay, ay, ay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get some paper. And we're going to do some card fronts. One question I have for you is, do you think second generation is the same as stamping off? Because it's a question I have. It's a legit question. I am wondering. I'm just cutting 4 panels basically, because I do have a few ideas to share and show, and I'm going to need to grab. Okay. So, question of the day. Hi, Ruth. Question of the day. Is second generation stamping the same or different than stamping off? Stamping off for sure. And I'll start with stamping off, because stamping off is something that we for sure know what we're doing. All right. So when you have a two-set stamp, a two-step stamp image, it means that you're going to have a fill and a thing. I also believe that two-step is when they have leaves separate from a flower, but it's not technically a two-step. So, Flowers of Beauty is one that look for on the last chance. Boo! I just bought it not as a last chance, sadly. Probably the last set from the, well, it absolutely is the last set from the catalog that I purchased. I hesitated to get it, actually, obviously, as it's a year later. I'm a 22-year-old stamper. I've been with Stampin' Up! For 22 years. So a lot of the stuff that I have, and I was talking with another girlfriend that's been stamping with me sort of the same amount of time, and she also, she's like, yeah, a lot of people that hang out with me obviously get what I keep showing, because how can you resist? I do the same thing when I keep seeing great stuff on Facebook and Pinterest and stuff. But they also didn't get it because, okay, so we need to have, I'm going to work with Pretty in Pink. Why not? I'll bring in Shy Shamrock then for the thing, which is not, well, you know what? Well, now I'm curious. What paper are they? Because this came with paper as well. Flowers. This is not the new catalog. This is the old one. This stamp set is also on sale, by the way, and it's a real good one. Like that leaf. I like it lots. You know what's really funny though? I am blocked. I keep not thinking that's where the friend comes from, and clearly it's called that. Where is that set? Oh, I thought it was right at the front. Isn't it? It is. Maybe not. Last summer we had fun. Poke your head up if you're interested, and maybe we'll do something again for summer camp. And we chose, oh, see, it is these like colors. As soon as I picked these, I was like, oh, I think it has that funny paper. Is that bad that I say that? That was my least favorite paper, I have to be honest. When am I not honest, right? Ugh, I don't like that paper. Anyways, all right. So I think this will still work. I'm looking at the color and wondering, do I want to use a different color than pink? That's okay. All right. I need to have a piece of paper to stamp off on. My mug of tea is a little bit further down. It's taking longer to do. Okay, so stamping off, different than second generation, but is it the same? So I'm inking up my ink. Okay, inked up. I stamp off once, and I come on here and stamp again. So question is that second generation when it's standing alone on there? It's definitely a stamped off image. Is it second generation? So when I did hashtag last night to see if anybody had a really neat idea, nobody talks about second generation. This is the most untalked about technique in town. Excuse me. The hashtags don't come up with anything either. And I'm like, well, that's sort of weird. One of the things that did happen was somebody literally had two good pieces of paper and they stamped once on the good piece of paper and then once on the second, and they were making two cards at the same time. They considered that second generation. So my feeling is that it's not second generation if it's not on the page. And this stamp set is hard because we do want to line it. So then I'll show you what I believe second generation is in 1 second. Maybe. Because I'm like, well, maybe I won't. Okay, so two-step stamping. So now we're going to outline it. So two-step stamping. I'm using the same color, and that's why I stamped it off. And if you're having trouble seeing it, imagine my older eyes. Pretty. This is a pretty. What was I waiting for with this set? Anyways, you don't need to wait anymore. It's on sale. You waited long enough. Grab it. It had arrived in my house before it had disappeared, before it had gotten on sale, thankfully. It's the only, and it might have been in, I didn't even think about it. I feel like our last chance seems to come faster and faster every year. All right, so this is the leaf, so we're going to stamp off on it as well. And I feel like I need to, these leaves are funny because we've got a really nice stem, but I need to tuck them in, so that's going to be trickier. And it should work, yes. Okay, I'm going to bring in lemon lime instead. Oh, no, actually, the olive will be nice. Okie dokie, smoky pokey. Oops, get rid of my nice piece of paper. So yeah, stamping yesterday with the kids. Then I was outside in the lawn, in the yard, in the lawn, not the yard, not the lawn. I mean, oh my gosh, spit it out, Lori. I was everywhere. Okay, stamping that. This is very soft. Tomorrow night I go to Rival Trade. I'm making cards and that very naturally goes right in there. Where can I have this? I need to have it up here. I will say that I think, and I would have to actually use this stamp. Oh, I can't. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. I almost want to cut these guys off because I honestly, how often do you need the big leaves for these guys? I'm confused. I actually seriously confused by that because you don't ever have a big, huge honking leaf on there. Anyways, so I am wiping off the, you might see in the future, if you were watching me play with this, you'd be like, Lori, how did you do that? Well, I wipe it constantly. Frankly, I cut them off. When am I ever going to use the stem? Except that I do love a stem on a leaf. But, I don't know. What do you guys think? This is my musing this morning. My voice is froggy, hey? Okay, so pretty. All right, so there is a pretty two-step stamped off and full strength stamp. Second generation is more like this. Why did I even open up my shamrock? That's funny. I think I came over and opened it immediately. I think I worked with that the whole time right then. Okay, second generation to me, I'm going to pull in this guy and we'll give it a try. This guy is particularly good. I'm gonna need a bigger block. What line is that from? At least I won't be singing it. Hi, Veronique. Veronique. I think it's kind of fun. When people first come onto Facebook, bless Facebook, they feed you to me. Depending on what I'm doing, I don't know how long people stay for. But bless Facebook, they're giving it a try. All right, so I'm inking this up. I have to say, this I need ink on my ink pad. I do have 2 of these ink pads. Where's the other one? Oh, I don't know if this is going to be better. It's actually an older. It's older, but it might be good. Make sure you're buying your refills. I think they're all still available, which sort of surprises me. I thought the copper clay was already gone. Yeah, that's what the name of it is. I don't think so. Okay, what you saw there with my pounding, these, because again, 22 years, I have old stamp pads that are felt, not foam. So you have to be more aggressive. We used to make a lot more noise. Okay, so this is second generation stamping. And this isn't ideal with a huge big one like this, but quite honestly, we don't have very many things that work like this. So you stamp down, lift, huff, and stamp again. And it's going to give an idea, hopefully, I'm not sure about the whole scene, of more trees in the background. And then you could finish it off by stamping another deep one over here, and it'll be perfect. And you're going to have lots of dimension with that. That's true second generational stamping. I have to be careful with this guy, but I'm going to stamp him again too. That is classic second generational stamping. It's just a shade off. And I will say that when you use rubber, that's what I was trying to get at. And then I was like, oh, I'll try this. Oh, no, I can't. I had a brain blip. But basically, I do think that rubber stamps hold the ink better. Most of the ink kind of gets delivered and then it just wants to get re-inked. So you get a very softer image with that. Yes. And you guys are like, what are you talking about? You know what? I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Hang on one second. I need to get a wet cloth. I'm just curious. I'm going to stamp this guy with pink. I'm going to stamp him off because he won't go through because he'll be so light. But I'm going to stamp him off. And I'm just curious if the rubber, so I cleaned this guy and I'll just see, we'll see. Oh, we'll have to do it on the back of this other guy. It'll work. It'll be so soft anyways. Okay, so he's on there. He just might be really pretty as pink. Maybe I'll make Vicky a card and stamp pink ones all over the place. Okay, stamp this guy here. I'm going to stamp him off, period. Okay, so just stamping him off, breathing, and stamping him on here. Oh, he is just really soft. Okay, all right. There. I was just curious. Second image, how much lighter or darker. The old olive is not very much light, like it's lighter, but it's not as crazy light as this one, I didn't think, that's all. Okay, so this guy, to finish this card off, I don't know if you like to see the whole experiment or if you like to see a finished card more, but this one I would probably, full. I should have probably put this up a little higher. I was coming close to the bottom of the ground, but I've left myself a little bit hooped for adding in a little bit of scenery. But can use this as a background and we'll add in the lamps and can finish that off. This can also be used totally. I just had a moose. I just saw a moose I was cleaning up. Hang on. Let's bring in a moose. Come here, my little moose friend. And you say, why did I say friend? Because I've got a friend in me. Here's a little moose from the days. Do, 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 do. So you can have a little bit of fun, bring in some stuff. So that's second generational. Another way to do second generational for some fun and some movement, I'm hoping, is this one. We're going to try to see if we can make this butterfly be flying across the page. Let's see how that one goes. So they have to look like they have motion. I thought like with a bike, I had done it different times. Frogs hopping and butterflies flying is second generational use of stamps. Good use of stamps, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Oi, I just hit my thing. All right. Oh, the good sticky. And they're new. This one, I actually think I could have him actually flying towards here. I think it'd be a little weird. Okay, I'm going to actually just stamp it on one of these guys. And I'm going to stamp him in a dark blue. I'll color him maybe with azure. Nice blueberry blue. He's going to be a blue butterfly. And I want him to be here. So again, second generation, and we're going into third, fourth, and fifth generation at this point. But I'm going to stamp him. And then I'm going to stamp him back and back and back. For a hope that he looks like he's coming in. If there was a flower here and stuff, it might be a little bit better. With a bike, it honestly looks great. I could not find my bike to save my soul. I did have this little guy, and I wondered if he would work. An aeroplane. It's the same sort of idea. Let's work with a, oh, that's not a scrap. I was too busy cleaning, I didn't leave any scraps for me to work on. What? Okay, I'll do it with the blue because I don't know that the blue works or doesn't work, but yeah. See, there is, it's kind of cool if you have the right idea. So that's a good use of second generation as well. My favorite way of using second generation is this. Okay, and then finally a very thirdish way of second generation, and it's not stamped often, and this is sort of like this guy, but just in general. And again, we don't have a whole bunch of sets right now that are solid. We're very heavy coloring right now. Oh, these are really big, actually. I forget that. When I was looking at these are too big. All right, so I'm going to do it with the Flowers of Beauty, but I might not outline them all, perhaps. And I will bring in a different color just for fun, because why wouldn't we? And I was kind of curious about a yellow, so let's use a yellow. Peach pie? Yeah, let's use peach pie. Oops, where's this go? Peach pie. The first one would be kind of fun. These would actually work for rock and roll too, can I say? So rock and roll was last weekend, or last week. If you stamp your image, I can do one rock and roll, and I can even stamp off and then we'll fill it with the rest. Rock and roll was just a roll at this point with the two similar colors. You kind of don't want it to be, I don't think, perfectly round. That's sort of where I get a little hung up on the rock and roll. But we're going to stamp once and then stamp again. That's also second generation. Okay, and so fill in, stamp, stamp, and then stamp, stamp. And where we were getting, oh, that's interesting. He had his edges still. Stamp, stamp. Where I was with my smooshing, I kept hitting the darkest one, the same spot constantly. And then we might also need to come into masking while we're doing this one. But if you second generation it, it's okay. Oh, it's so dark right there, hey? So my edges are not stamping off, basically. That's why I'm getting the funniness going on there. I really don't like that guy. I'm going to start over again. Okay, so stamping, stamping. This is all second generational stamping. Stamping, stamping. Stamping, stamping. Put him up there, stamp it to the middle. Oh, still got a ledge there, so I'll come in here and stamp there. Stamp. How fun, hey? Nice. And then I'll do just a little edge right there just because he kind of needs a little extra color. So this is more like the second generational, same, just a totally different look because trees make it look like you're getting real distance. This just looks like an abundance. Same difference exactly, just two different things. All right, so that, my friends, is second generational stamping versus, what do you call it? Now the question will be, I'm going to, I think I might just leave this. I'll stamp one of these and see. I think I will leave it. I don't know that two-step stamping, you know, works, but I know I have two-stepped with stamping off, or with, yeah, but I don't know if it's necessary is what I guess I'm trying to get at. What did I do with my piece of paper? Oh, it's right here in front of me. Good gracious. Oh, no, I don't want it. I need full strength. Hold on. I was just going to see one of these guys. The detail is not bad. It's not sort of needed, if that makes sense. They're kind of pretty by themselves is what I'm trying to get at. That one didn't work right, so let me do one. Let me do one right. I had them upside down. Oh no, it's definitely this way. Never mind. Oh, no, there's a what do you call it in there? And this is the way he's going. Sorry, I've got my eyeballs all on old. There. So none of those are working right. So it does add a little tiny dimension. It fills in the hole. Okay, so I am going to, it does make him look prettier. So I'm going to stamp. But I'm not going to stamp off. I'm not going to give the same dimension to the stamped off images. You would have that choice. I'm choosing not to. And then we'll turn this into a pretty card. I touched down there. And I don't know what that's called. That's called a hiccup. That's a hesitation. That's what that's called. Did we do H for hesitation? When you go to stamping, you're like, whoa, that's not what I want to do. Come back, come back. Baby, come back. Oh, that's so pretty. Any fool can see. I don't know what the rest of that song is, but I was lonely. Is that what it is? I was lonely. And I just can't live without you. Oh, it probably is actually, hey? I don't know. All right, so Thursday. My husband came home from a nice golfing trip, so it's nice to have him home. Okay, that's pretty. Let's work on this as a card. Peach pie. Hi, Corinne. How are you doing? All right. This one could definitely have a friend in there. You got a friend in me. This would actually look quite nice. Look at this cool card I made yesterday with the melons. Melons and funky circles and espresso. I thought that was nice. That was one of the celebration, what do you call it? Celebration, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm just thinking this would be nice on brown. And then we need that's working as well. Just need some, oh, and of course this is begging for greenery. Hang on a second, you guys. This whole set is all about greenery. Just a moment. The dies are what you want anyways. Hang on. They're right here somewhere. Yes, they are. One moment, please. I don't know how I'm blanking here. Oi, 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 oi. So I rolled, the words are actually rolled with copper. I do love, this is one of the dies from this set. So he's going to be kind of long. I'll have to trim him off. But I could, oh yeah, and I can't do them sideways. I totally did this. Why did I do this way? That's so funny. So if I had done it the right way, wouldn't that be pretty? And that'd be pretty well finished just like that. But I didn't do it that way, so he has to come here. He's going to get trimmed. I could kind of curl him around. So I'll trim him like that. And then I'll have... You are awesome. I need a very big word in here now. This is what I need. That's really not working for me. Can you tell? I keep flipping it away. No, that's not working. Okay, and then... And you're thinking, why are you going with brown, Lori? I don't know. It just appeals to me today. I'm coming over here for... You know, truly I have enough stuff over here. I should be able to find... anything my heart desires, but that being said, this is going to block off a whole bunch. Hang on. Maybe this will work. See, and then that's, I have really trouble when I have too much. Sorry, I'm thinking at the same time as I'm talking to you. And I'm looking. When I have too much, this does not have any words. That's what I was wondering. It does not have words. This is part of that stamp that sort of stamps like that. But now I forget what I was trying to think. I'm looking for some words. And you know, one set that I was just thinking that I need is nice big words. Will this Oh Happy Day fit in here? It's 95% size. Oh, happy days. Yes, I think it will. Perfect. The kids yesterday, we were stamping on a circle, right? And a couple of them caught on to the fact with a circle, you don't need to be straight when you're stamping. Do you know what I mean? And so they were like, oh, they were turning it a little tiny bit. And then they're like, oh, it's a circle. I don't need to worry about it until after the image is stamped. So it was astute of them, I thought. Because sometimes I kind of forget. You do need to just get it on there. That's the biggest thing. And hopefully inked. Okay. Yes, you are seeing me hold it for a few seconds. I think that my ink pad's not very heavy, so I definitely wanted the ink to have a chance to go into there. And then I absolutely will stamp one more flower and pop it up. And I'll trim this guy off. And I think I'll trim him. That was really rocky. I'm going to trim him so he looks nice, not, but that's not good. There. And then preferably it's tucked under, but he's not going to be. Rats. Okay, and then, hold on, dang it. I need another piece of paper. I'm doing my dark one and an outline. Scissors. So quiet. So quiet here today. It's funny, when I was looking up here, I knew I was missing, but I nailed that one. So it's like, oh, why? When you are two-step stamping, you do tend to look at a couple different spots when you're lining them up, and then usually need a little to make a little adjustment, but I'm not sure. He seems to be all the way good except for that one spot. So how does that happen? Unless I maybe hesitated and popped him down. So I can pop that up there. And in full truth, I'll use this in another thing where I can hide the bottom of him. I think what I would do is get him where I want him and then just trim him flush with the page. He looks just a little bit awkward the way he is right now. If I bring him just straight up and down, that's okay. I had wanted him to be kind of curling around, and he does. This stem actually curls, but anyways. So I can just cover that up all together, or I can have it on top. May as well have it on top. And there is my little, nice to fill in a background, second generation stamping, and filling in and making lots of good stuff, and adding a little tiny bit of movement. Not a finished card, but that guy does look like he's flying to wherever he's headed. So there you are, second generation stamping versus stamping off. I'm just teasing you. There it is. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow night with cocktails and cards here with Lori LaRose at the Stamping. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.